All right, welcome to day 188. So yesterday I slack packed 11 miles, and today I am leaving Uncle Johnny's behind me and heading south. Probably 13 miles to a campsite or 17 miles to a shelter, not sure which. I've got 25 miles to get to Nature's Inn tomorrow evening, where I will resupply and spend the night. So I'm getting back on trail, and for now, Recon out. So I'm continuing my climb up from Uncle Johnny's on the Nolichucky River, and down there, that thing laying there is the span of the Chestoa Bridge, which was a steel and concrete reinforced bridge across the river, and that was actually the Appalachian Trail route. You can see this gigantic span is laying up on the bank. I mean, the force of the river ripped it free and washed it up onto the bank. And to the right of that, I can't zoom any further, you can see where that bridge used to be, and just ends in a pile of rubble there. I mean, the force it would take to do that is just unbelievable and almost hard to imagine. Looking this way, so we've got the river, and down below the railroad, and you can see at the very end of that, the rail bank is washed out. And this non-stop stream of gravel trucks are going down there to rebuild the rail bank right down in there. And so I can't vouch for the accuracy of this, but I was told that the reason there's such a huge hurry to rebuild this is because that train brings in highly enriched uranium to a processing plant that then turns into fuel rods for nuclear submarines. And so DOD is 100% behind getting this thing fixed as soon as possible. So I can't vouch for that. That's what I was told. It makes sense. And they are working really hard to get that railroad back up and running. Better view down here, and there's the road that runs along the river, and you can see the non-stop line. These are all gravel trucks. They opened up a new quarry someplace, and these trucks just run all day long, one after the other, bringing loads of gravel to rebuild the rail bed over here down in that direction. So it is about 1:40 p.m. This is the No Business Knob shelter, and I stopped here for lunch. Now I'm making a very good time. 4 hours since I started, and only have gone about 5.8 miles. It's all been uphill. There's probably a lot of it. Some of it is I'm just goofing around on my phone, and there's a lot of northbounders now, so I'm stopping to yak with them too. So I got to pick up the pace because I still got like almost 8 miles to go for the rest of the day. Can have lunch, in case you're wondering what lunch is. There's my Fritos. I love to stuff my face full of Fritos. I always carry those out. Got some beef jerky because I need the protein for muscle repair. We've got my tortilla and my peanut butter. And then in the bag still is a Cliff Bar. So I'm gonna eat all that stuff, drink a little bit of water, and get going and keep moving. It's pretty cold out here, and I can't really stop for very long. So for now, Recon out. That's a lot of water right there. That's a really deep pool. Maybe that'd be great to go swimming in, but that water has got to be unbelievably cold. I'll try not to fall in. So I'm at the top of the last climb of the day. It's about 13.5 miles from Uncle Johnny's, uphill from the river the entire way. I'll have to check later to see how much of that was. The last climb here to this point was 1,000 feet vertical, and very steep in places. And on top of all that, I got lost. How do you get lost in the Appalachian Trail? It's almost impossible. Not for me. I came to a point where the trail just disappeared. There's a giant tree blown over, a huge hole where the root ball was, and then I couldn't see where the trail went. Somebody else had gone off to the side, so I followed that trail that they had made, and I ended up probably 100 yards off the trail. And then I had a hard time getting my way back because all the blowdowns. So if you've ever seen a 100-foot tall tree laying on its side, and you're in the top branches of that tree, it's almost impossible to get through. And going around these just kept pushing me further and further away from the trail. So anyway, I made it back. If it weren't for GPS, they probably would never find me. I'd still be out walking around 10 years from now. So anyway, I'm back on trail. It's all good. I should be at camp in just a couple minutes here.
Well, good morning and welcome to day 189, and I am still in my tent. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. My thermometer reached 33 degrees, and I am still in my quilt. And I think there was a low temperature last night of 31 degrees. So anyway, I'm in my quilt, in my tent, and I'm going to give it a minute here to warm up. I can see the sun just almost starting to peak over the ridge, so I'm giving it another minute or two. Let it warm up a little bit and I'll start getting moving.
All right, finally moving here. The sun's right behind me. Sorry about that. Finally moving here. Got a really slow start this morning. It's about 9:15. It was just cold. When I woke up, it was like 30 degrees in my tent, and I slowly waited for it to get to about 32 or 33 before I even got out of my goose down quilt. So by the time I had breakfast and coffee and went to the bathroom, time just flew by. So anyway, I got to hustle. I got to get down to Sam's Gap. It's only 11 miles. That's where they'll pick me up and take me into Nature's Inn Hostel. And I'm going to resupply there because I did not want to carry the 70 miles to Hot Springs. So I wanted to break it up a little bit so I'm not carrying so much food. So off I go. I think that's the top of Big Bald up there, but this is really difficult. So it snowed and then it melted. As you can see, this mud right down here. It's just all mud, the trail. You can see all the slide marks in it. It's slick as ice. I'm struggling to get up this thing without falling. And I don't know what it's gonna be like going down the other side, but it could be even worse. It's very slippery. Wow, so look at this. I think that ahead of me there is Big Bald. So I'm not quite there yet. But look at this view coming right over here. This is gorgeous. Wow. I think I can see somebody up there. So I'm going to continue to climb and I'll get some video from the top of that thing. Right, I'm finally on the top of Big Bald Mountain, and it is 360-degree panorama up here. Really beautiful. And amazingly, it's not too cold. So I gotta go down the downside of this thing, the backside, and I'm hoping it's not too slippery. All right, I am descending Big Bald. I just had a very nice lunch of beef jerky, Fritos, and peanut butter and tortillas. And this is what it looks like. It is gorgeous. Basically wide open up here, and I am really glad I'm here today and not the day before yesterday when it was pouring down icy rain. So anyway, I'm going to turn the phone off because it is really slippery and muddy. I just wanted y'all to see just how beautiful this is. I'm continuing towards Sam's Gap, and it's a nice view here. There's a little rise. I'm just going over a little ascent, and then there's a long descent. That way back there is Big Bald, and that's where I had lunch. I've come down from there to this point. All right, everybody, I got picked up at Sam's Gap by the lovely Amy, the proprietor of Nature's Inn Hostel and Cabins, and that's the main building over there. That's the bathhouse right there. I think these are just private cabins right around through here. And then I'm heading down to the bunkhouse because that's where us peasants live. So I'm gonna head down here to the bunkhouse. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do my laundry first and then shower or go resupply. So I'm gonna get started, but that's it for right now. That's all we got to report. Be back on trail tomorrow morning. In case y'all are wondering what the inside of a hiker bunkhouse looks like, it's pretty bare bones. Here it is right here. So we've got 4 bunks on each side, upper and lower. And then they provide a bottom sheet and a pillowcase. and then you use your own sleeping bag, or in my case, quilt. And so they don't provide like blankets and sheets normally. So fortunately, I'm the only person in here. There's a space heater down there I turned on because it's cold in here. I've got my stuff hanging out to kind of dry a little bit, and I'm sorting out my clothes, stuff I'm going to wash in the laundry. Got my food bag here because I need to go over and resupply for the 45-mile hike to Hot Springs. And I also need to figure out what I'm going to do when I get to Hot Springs because I need to find a place to stay there. So that's all for now. I'm going to sort this mess out, go do some laundry, take a shower, and make some dinner and resupply. Whew, welcome to day 190. And I am climbing up from Sam's Gap. It's pretty steep, that's why I'm out of breath. Anyway, had a good night last night at Nature's Inn. Weather looks good. I've got 45 miles to get to Hot Springs. I'm hoping to do it in 3 days. So I'm gonna have to get at least 15 miles a day. The next shelter is 18 miles. That's a stretch for me, but I'll do my best and we'll see what we see. Also, I did meet a trail maintainer. I took a photo with him and I thanked him for all the hard work that he and his fellow maintainers and club members have done out here. So truly a heroic effort. And I thanked him and I told him that I would like him to thank his fellow maintainers for me and for the entire thru hiking community, really. The service they've done is just unbelievable. His name is Rocco Smucker, and that's him with me in the selfie there. Probably come at the end of the video. So, Semper Fi and Recon out. Continuing the press on. Weather still looks sketchy, but it hasn't rained yet. I was just thinking, every day I wake up and some other part of me hurts, and part of it's just long distance hiking, and part of it's being almost 64 years old, I think. I'd heard a podcast with a physical therapist who was a long trail backpacker herself, and her advice was ignore any pain for 3 days, and if the pain doesn't go away, then seek some attention after 3 days, because aches and pains are constantly popping up. I started the trail last June with a pretty bad case of plantar fasciitis in my right foot, and then I ended up getting it in my left foot, and it was pretty painful all the way until I got off trail December 3rd. I was in a lot of pain and kind of hobbling around. I got better while I was at home, and it has not really reared its ugly head. It hurts a little bit in the mornings, but I can walk all day without discomfort, so fingers crossed on that one. Today I'm just having some pain in the top of my right foot, which I hope goes away, because I don't want a stress fracture, which that could be if it continues, and a little bit of pain in the inside of my right ankle. So anyway, hopefully these things go away. We'll see. Starting another endless climb here. This looks nice though. It is hard to imagine that 4 days ago I spent 2 days hiking in an icy downpour bordering on hypothermia, and just 2 nights ago I was in a tent. It was 28 degrees inside my tent. Now I am roasting in the direct sunlight going up this climb. It's supposed to be in the 70s, but I think it's hotter than that. Anyway, there's no leaves in the trees, so it's just basically I'm getting cooked. That's the weird thing about late March, early April in the Appalachian Mountains. You just never know what you're going to get. I still could get some freezing nights and cold rain, and maybe even ice. Whew, I'm getting tired. So it's almost 5 p.m. I've gone 14 miles since I started from Sam's Gap. It's been mostly uphill, and the last couple miles has certainly been uphill because I'm climbing Big Butt Mountain. Yes, you heard me correctly. Big Butt. So I'm climbing Big Butt. I've got about 500 feet of vertical left to get to the summit of that thing. And then it's about 2 miles down to the next shelter. So about a total of 4 miles to the next shelter, but the last 2 miles is downhill. That'd be a total of 18 for the day. So I am still plugging away. So this is a short side trail up to what is called the Shelton Graves. And these are two Confederate, or they're not Confederate, but two Civil War era graves. This is David Shelton, and this one over here is I can't read the first name, but W.M. Shelton, I believe. And then Millard Hare, born 1850, died 1863. So this was obviously a child. But apparently the story behind the two Sheltons here is that they were Union soldiers, and they came to visit relatives who were living in the Confederacy at the time. I mean, I'm in North Carolina, and they were ambushed by Confederate troops and both killed, and apparently buried here by their family. So I don't know if this was a homestead at one time. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but probably at one time it could have been a farm. And there's just a thing here that says, erected by H.D. Hare Jr., E.W. Fletcher Jr., J.A. Hare Newsom, G.E. Riddle, and the rest of the descendants of Millard Hare. So that's probably the 13-year-old here that's buried here as well. So kind of sad. I mean, they came to visit family and apparently were ambushed and killed during wartime. Whew. All right, this is it. I am on Big Butt. This is a very big butt. I've been climbing since 1:30 and it's now 6 p.m. Taking me that long to get up here. And I am way up there. Look at the valley down below there. The trail goes up just a little bit further this way, and then it's going to drop off and go down about 1.8 miles to the shelter. So here I am on Big Butt. I'm not making that up. Okay, here I am. Back behind me, that's a bear box right there. And I can't really see it, I guess. But there is a Jerry's Cabin shelter. It's right up the hill there. So 18 miles today, a lot of vertical. I'm very tired. So I'm gonna put my tent up and go get some water and make dinner. Very hard day. 18 miles is the longest I've done since I got back on trail, and a pretty long day. So for now, I'm going to sign off, get my tent up, and get some dinner going. Please remember our goals to our families, and Semper Fi.
Well, good morning and welcome to day 191. It is 50 degrees. It is raining, and the wind, if you can hear it, is roaring outside. So anyway, I am waiting for a break in the rain so I can go to the bear box and get my food bag and then come back here and make breakfast. It's pretty ugly right now. It's supposed to clear out about 10 a.m. So I'm gonna hope to get some breakfast made and then get packed up and get moving, and hopefully it warms up and clears up a little bit, and then maybe at lunchtime I can try to get my tent dried out. So anyway, this is one of those days where you ask yourself, what am I doing out here? I have a warm, dry, king-size bed at home, and here I am in a tent getting rained down. So it is what it is. Another day, and Semper Fi. Welcome to my morning. So it's 8 a.m. It's still raining. Radar shows this is going to move out in about an hour. It's 51 degrees, gusty winds. It's terrible weather. That's the way it is in late March and early April in the mountains. So got to deal with it. I was able to make a reservation for a hostel 13 miles up the trail for tonight just to get in and get dried out. So I'm still in the tent right there in the vestibule. I've got my stove going. I'm gonna heat up some water, make some oatmeal and some hot coffee. And then I've got my sleeping bag and stuff all packed away. Once this rain stops, I'll get out of here and take the tent down and get moving.
Okay, it finally stopped raining. I've got myself packed up. It's still cold and really windy, so I'm gonna get moving. I made reservations for a hostel. It's about 12 miles up the trail just because of the weather. I want to get out of this and get dried out. So anyway, I'm gonna get moving before I freeze. Well, the rain finally did stop. The wind has not. Weather person says gusts up to 45 miles an hour. So there's that. It's cold, but I'm pretty comfortable in my jacket and just moving along this ridge here. It was crazy last night. I went to bed. It was gorgeous. It was so pretty actually that I left my tent doors open. I could see the stars. And then it really started blowing hard at about 4 a.m. to the point where I got up and put extra lines on my tent and went back to bed. And then it started raining. Then it started pouring. And it was just blowing and raining and cold this morning. It was miserable. So anyway, all's well at this point. Moving on. Sorry about this. This picture's probably a little foggy. I literally have nothing dry or clean to wipe the camera lens with at the moment. All right, I just hit 1,897 miles. That means that I have exactly 300 miles left to the end of the trail at Springer Mountain. So, in 3 more miles, I'll hit 1,900, and I will try to make a stick figure if I am not too cold, and I'll get a video of that for y'all. But 300 miles left. I take another step, and I'll be under 300. Simplify. So here's a bad weather bypass trail. It goes off to the right, and then the regular trail goes to the left. Exposed Ridgeline Trail. So anyway, it's windy, but it's not raining. If it was raining, I'd take the bad weather trail. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the normal AT and deal with the wind because I'm not scared. Well, kind of a little bit, but not much. Wow. It looks like I'm at the top of this ridge. And I did not take the bad weather route. So far, I've lucked out, but look at those clouds. They don't look that good. This is the trail here. Definitely above the trees. And then in the distance, look, there's an antenna or something on that hill over there. So, hopefully it doesn't start raining. This would be a very exposed position to be in when it rains. I'm still on this ridge. Here I am down here. And look at this. You can tell that goes almost vertical. And there's a blaze up at the top, way up there. Doesn't look any worse than anything I saw in New England, so we'll go ahead and climb up this thing. To be honest, I am ready to be off of this ridge, but this was just too awesome to not get a video of. Look at this. I gotta make sure I don't fall off this damn thing. Look at this. This is the right side of the ridge. This is the side the wind is coming from. And there it is, everybody. 1,900 miles. 297 miles to go to Springer Mountain and finish this bear. There it is. That's my artwork. All right, here I come up to Log Cabin Road and take a left here and go up to the Cookie Lady's house. And then apparently the Cookie Lady will call the Hemlock Hollow Hostel for me and they'll come get me. So that is the current plan. I made the hostel reservations this morning when it was pouring down rain and everything was wet. I kind of wish I hadn't now because it turned into a nice day and I probably don't need to stay indoors. But having said that, yesterday was 18 miles all uphill and I could probably use a shorter hike today. So there's the Cookie Lady sign. I'm gonna go up to her house, which looks like it's right there, and see about getting a cookie and getting a phone call to the hostel. That'll leave me 16 miles to get into Hot Springs tomorrow. I'll have to get an early start because unfortunately a lot of it's uphill. It's a very cool looking cabin. I like it. And it looks like there might be some treats on the front porch here. Let's check it out. We got filtered water. Our cookies. Yeah, And more cookies. All right, this is the Hemlock Hollow Hostel. So they came and they picked me up from the cookie lady's house. And it's a beautiful property, holy moly. It's really gorgeous. So that's where the cabins and stuff are over there. So I'm in one of the bunkhouses. Short day today, that's fine. I need the rest anyway. I'm gonna go pull my stuff out because a lot of my stuff got soaked. Oh, and that's not soaked, honestly. The tent's soaked. So I'm gonna pull that out to dry. I'm gonna take a shower and put on some motor clothes and then go maybe make some dinner. Good morning. Welcome to day 192. I had a great night last night at the Hemlock Hollow Hostel. I was in the bunkhouse, comfortable bed. Got a little chilly in the middle of the night, but I got my quilt and pulled that on me. Slept great. Had a breakfast this morning. Spotter, who works there, made a pile of blueberry pancakes. They were delicious. He just dropped me back off at the trail crossing down there. So I'm heading south. I've got about 16 miles to get to Hot Springs, North Carolina. And Hot Springs is where Journeyman is going to pick me up. So Journeyman is a former Appalachian Trail through hiker, Colorado Trail hiker. He's quite experienced. And I met him 2 years ago in 2023 when I brought my daughter out here, Cameron, to do a section hike. And we met him and his rescue dog, Mickey. So he's going to pick me up in Hot Springs, take me back to his house, and let me get cleaned up and resupplied for the next leg. So I'm going to get moving here for now. Remember our gold star families, please, and Recon out.